Hey guys, it's Rocky Fish and books. Hey guys, it's Rocky Fish and today kind of have a video I've been wanting to do since I've started my channel, which is kind of amazing that I'm doing it. But it's some of my favorite poetry books. And then I have like 2 novels that I just finished and the one I'm about to read that I also want to share with you. I like books. Do you like books? Books. Okay, so I am a huge fan of poetry books. Poetry books just talk to me in ways I don't know. They're just so hitting the head on the nail kind of thing. So, most of these books I bought from Amazon. And yeah, I'm just going to tell you a little bit about them. And yeah, well, so I thought it'd be nice to start with the book that started my obsession with poetry books. And this is called The Lover's Dictionary by David Levithan? By David Levithan. Okay. So basically, this is what it looks like. I got it from Barnes & Nobles, I think, like forever ago. But I got this, I think, my sophomore or junior year in high school. So basically, this guy, right, he wrote his whole love story with this girl. He wrote it all out, right? And each, like, he writes, how should I explain it? He wrote poems the whole time he was in this relationship with this girl, right? And he laid them all out and then titled them, right? And then he put the poetry, like he put the poems in like dictionary format, like by the titles, right? So like basically the love story is like everywhere. Like love is, it's just everywhere. And it's just so interesting to me how he put it. Like, it was a very clever way to put a poetry book together, but it's called The Lover's Dictionary, and it's super cute, and there's some poems in here that I just, oh god, I want to reread this. I haven't read this in a couple years, but this is the book that started my obsession with poetry. So if you kind of are like, like, I read this in 2 days. I remember that. And then I was hungry for more. So now, these are more of my like recent poetry books. I have some other poetry books, but these are kind of like my top favorites. So, we're going to talk about her. Okay, so this is Whiskey, Words, and a Shovel, number 2, because number 1, the first Whiskey, Words, and the Shovel, I really want, but I can't find it anywhere, like, for like a decent price. Like, I can find used ones on Amazon for like $200, which is a little crazy, but I really want the first edition of Whiskey, Words, and a Shovel. I don't know, there's a lot of like poetry books about like relationships, moving on, like girls don't need to be put down by men kind of thing. So like if you're into that, this poetry book has like a lot of like go girls kind of thing. Like, let's see. Okay, page 48. My scars. These scars remind me that I've survived everything meant to destroy me. Basically, I don't know, this is a beautiful book. Pick it up on Amazon. I think it's like not even that much money. So, get it. It's worth it. I promise. Whiskey, Words, and a Shovel. 2. I don't know about 1. If you have 1, tell me how much you like it. I really want to get the first one. And then there's a 3rd one out that I should get as well. Poems. Okay, so let's talk about the basic bitch. I mean, so this is Milk and Honey. Everyone and their mother has been flipping shit over Milk and Honey as of recent. Ooh, I have this little tab is where my mom stopped reading, which is sad because she should have read the whole thing, but this poetry book is a beautiful poetry book. She talks about depression, she talks about having a shitty dad, she talks about getting raped, It's just like, I don't know, the reason I like poetry books is it's comforting that other people feel the way that I have felt, and it's just beautiful. Like, let's see. So, how about this one? This is on page 57 of Milk and Honey. Every thought of you, my legs would spread apart like an easel with a canvas begging for art. Or on page 59. I do not want to have you fill the empty parts of me. I want to be full on my own. I want to be so complete I could light a whole city. And then I want to have you, 'cause the two of us combined could set it on fire. And then her book is really cool because she has illustrations that are hand-drawn. And they're just so, like, they go so well. Kind of like a Shel Silverstein, but not as, like, kid. You know what I'm saying? But everyone loves that book, and if you haven't read Milk and Honey, what's wrong with you kind of thing? Okay, so this is, like, not so much... Okay, so it's kind of a poetry book, kind of like a list book, but I wanted to put it in here because I like reading this when I'm sad, and hopefully, like, I don't know, when I'm having, like, a gray day, when I'm having, like, not the best day, or, like, I'm feeling down, I'll, like, just randomly open a page, and it's basically a book full of, like, things that you should enjoy more, and, like, let's see, like, it's basically, this whole book's a giant list of things you should love more and appreciate more. It's 14,000 things to be happy about. You should be happy, and I recommend that book. I've gotten pretty far in that one. Okay, so next poetry book we're going to go into. I got this for Christmas from my friend Joyce. Hey Joyce, if you're out there. It's called, okay. So basically it's completely white, and in this corner it says Salt. And that's the whole cover of the book. Okay, well, it's Salt by Nahara Wahid. If I said that wrong, I've most likely butchered it because I'm the worst. But, so basically, it seems like she writes about boys, she writes about self-love, she writes a lot about how she feels about, like, racism and stuff like that, and it's very interesting. I don't know, a lot of her poems are so beautiful. If you're like, this is kind of like a book about, like, how she's salty, is how I'm gonna put it. And she's salty about a lot of things. A lot of them is, like, she doesn't like how people butcher her name, like I probably did. A lot about white supremacy. And I know it's, like, a really touchy subject, but, I mean, it's how people feel. And so in poetry books, you're allowed to express yourself in any way. And it's just crazy how some people feel. The worst thing that ever happened to the world was when the white man came across gunpowder. That poem was called The Beginning of White Supremacy. Alright, so let's talk about this pamphlet. So this is Raw, a teeny tiny poetry book that I paid $11 for. When I saw it on Amazon, it didn't look, you see the front and you see the back and you don't see how thick it is, and it didn't say how many pages it was. But I wrote my first not bad review. So basically, it's 32 pages, but there's some really good poems in here. It's a really fast read because it is so, like, small. But I don't know. I like this poetry book. I read it in one night. Yeah, so here's Raw, really small, but the 32 poems that are in there are so awesome. So go Raw by Anna Melk. And I'll list all these books on Amazon, is pretty much where I buy all mine. I'll, like, link them in the below area. So if you guys want to pick them up, I recommend all these books. Just saying. Okay, so this one right here, Al gave to me. It's called 18 Years. So basically, it's kind of about growing up, and it's about this girl's first 18 years, and it's by MK. A lot of poetry, like a lot of poets use fake names or initials or things like that. But this one is just, I don't know, this one makes me cry when I read some of the poems. I really like 18 Years. If you like this book, I like you. Yeah, that poetry book always makes me cry. So those are some of my favorite poetry books. I just wanted to share with you guys them. And then I have kind of like side extra kind of thing. So I finished this a bit ago. I want to say Christmas time is when I read this, but this book made me cry so much I wanted to put it in this video. It's called Girl in Pieces, and basically this book is in 3 parts. And it starts off like, you're like, what the heck, what is going on? Because it starts you off her waking up in a mental like hospital or like kind of thing, and then so that's the first couple sections, is like, because it's in 3 parts like I said. So the first part's her in the mental like hospital, her like trying to get better, her kind of like talking and figuring out what happened that night. Second part is her moving away. She moves. Her mom was supposed to come and get her out of like the hospital, and she doesn't, and she ends up moving in with her friend who she kind of likes, but he turns out to have like a girlfriend kind of thing. And then the third part of this book is she gets a job, and she really, really likes this guy she's working with. He's like a super hottie, badass, but like works at a coffee shop, like, and he does a lot of drugs and stuff like that, so he's like a broken kind of person. And I don't want to spoil the ending, but like, this is one of those books that I'm one of those people watching Netflix by myself or reading books by myself like this. Like when they kiss, I'm like, ah! I know, like everyone in my house will think like something's happening. I just get I got so into this book. Like I was crying at the end. Oh my god, I was crying in so many parts of this book. So like, if you're in a book that I don't know, this book just draws you in, and I recommend it. It's Girl in Pieces by Catherine Gaslow, and I cried really bad at this, and after I finished reading it, I was just pouring tears because I didn't like the way it ended, but I love the book. So if you're like looking for a good read, that's my girl. And then now, can you tell how pretty this book is compared to all those others? This is the book I just picked up from Target. I believe it's called Tell Me 3 Things, and it has little waffles in the front. And I am going to actually start reading this probably tonight. Okay, I'm going to start reading this probably today. It's Tell Me 3 Things by Julie Buxbaum. I butchered everyone's last name. I'm so sorry. But if you read this book, tell me down below if you liked it. It's washing me out, of course, but I'm really excited to read it. I love reading books, and hopefully you guys have read some of the books that I've recommended. If not, read them. They're all great. I'll link them all below. I love you guys. Bye.